Hello and welcome back to TNN's coverage of the world's 9 best fantasy football players league. I'm your host, and this is what we have for you this week. Week 1 is now in the books, and several teams are looking to make adjustments, questioning some of the moves they made last week. TNN reached out to one owner in particular, Jacob, for To Infinity and Beyond, to question his egregious mistake of leaving 60 points on the bench. Here is what he had to say.
I've been asked by TNN representatives to reach out for official comment on Chandler Jones's 60-point performance on the bench. Just like to say, while other managers might be concerned about not starting him, I'm really not. I'm interested in the development of my players. Chandler knows he had a rough outing last season, and he had to prove to himself and to the team that he deserved a starting spot. I have no interest in winning every single week. I have an interest in winning the entire league. And this is a move that sets us up for the playoffs and for the future. I have no single qualm about my starting lineup decisions. No further comments.
Moving on, teams were recently able to cash in on an offer from Blinded by the Tight End to receive one fab dollar if team owner Tom had too much fun for one man to handle in a day. Those fab dollar transfers just went through. How that will affect Blinded by the Tight End moving forward will be a storyline to watch. Some league owners have been discussing forming a class action suit in regards to the transfer, and TNN, of course, will keep you up to date on any potential developments. And now, here is Danny Football with his predictions for Week 2. Hey, what's up, guys? The world's 9 best fantasy football players expert, Danny Football here, back with another week of expert predictions. Last week was pretty good for me. I went 4-2. My guest, Commissioner Tooch, also went 4-2, giving some great analysis, but unfortunately, he was not able to beat the expert because, as we all know, the tie goes to the expert. But now, it's a new week, we've got a new guest, and a new chance to beat the expert. So guest, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
What's going on, TNN viewers? It's Danny Stortz, offensive coordinator of the historic franchise Undefeated Never Lost here. Happy to be on for the first week, or the second week, I guess, following Commissioner Tooch. So thanks for having me, Danny Football.
Of course, happy to have you on. All right, first up, our matchup, we have the Mental Brick Walls taking on Team Big Chungus 22. Big Chungus currently favored in this one at a 58% chance to win. Danny, who do you like in this one?
Oh, well, Danny, seeing as it doesn't look like the Mental Brick Walls have fully set their lineup, they have one empty flex spot. It's going to change things going down later in the week, but you know, sleeper is never wrong, right? So I think I'm gonna go with Will's team. My phone's blocking them right now. The Team Big Chungus, because you know they're on a roll, 1-0. I think this is a comeback year for them. They weren't so good last year, so I think they're gonna come out hot, and then who knows, maybe fizzle out later in the year. But
yeah, I think that's a good pick there. The Brick Walls got off to a pretty rough start last week, showing that their mental fortitude was no match for the Texarkana Bandits. They also lost Jerry Jeudy for a while, which is going to be a big hit to the depth on this team. Big Chungus, on the other hand, had a surprisingly good week, beating down a very, very sad Team M. Vanek. As was mentioned last week, I am still not high on Big Chungus, but I have a hard time seeing how the Brick Walls are going to replace the productivity of Jeudy with the guys currently on their bench. I'm going with Big Chungus in this one. Next up, we've got To Infinity and Beyond versus Team M. Vanek. To Infinity and Beyond, favored in this one, 71% chance to win. I do not even know where to begin with these two teams. It is really hard not to question management and management decisions of these two teams right now. Team M. Vanek clearly going for the tank. Remember calls to
call it trust the process.
Absolutely awful performance last week. And To Infinity and Beyond, probably the worst decision I have ever seen to leave 60 points from one player on the bench. If I didn't know any better, I'd think they were tanking too after a decision like that. But when push comes to shove, us experts, we got to make our picks. I'm going to go with the team I think is better overall here, and I'm going to go with To Infinity and Beyond.
Very interesting, very interesting. Personally, for me, I think this matchup, it's, like you said, it's a battle between maybe two tanking teams. I'm not really sure. But just the messaging that's coming from up top of Team M. Vanek, it's very, very encouraging. I do trust the process. And as some of you may know, maybe not, I'm hosting the governors of both Team M. Vanek and Mike Visconti's team.
Ham and Throw.
In Detroit in a few weeks. I'm hosting them for a little weekend summit so that we can talk about the future of our teams and the future of this league. So I expect big things to come out of that weekend, big things to come from those teams in particular this season. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Team M. Vanek on this one.
Wow. All right. Moving on, we have Blinded by the Tight End taking on Court is now in session. Court favored here, 63% chance to win. Danny, what are your thoughts on this one?
Oh, this is going to be an interesting one, I think. Aaron Rodgers, who knows with that man, he might be benched next week for all we know. So I think the commissioner, Tooch, has got a few important roster moves on his hands. And, Tom, last week, he didn't do too well. He was, I believe he was the worst manager of the week last week.
Yeah.
So not too well, but I think that's all the more reason why it's only going up from here. That's why I'm picking Blinded by the Tight End.
Yeah, I think that's some pretty solid analysis there. This is going to be a big matchup. These are two teams, both contenders last year, coming in first and second in the crewman division. However, they did end up on opposite sides of the league last week, with the Court finishing towards the top in points, and Blinded by the Tight End scoring near the bottom. Blinded by the Tight End's highest scores last week were actually from Corey Davis and Marvin Jones, both recently acquired from Team Undefeated Never Lost. I'm sure they're very happy with that Deshaun Watson trade right now. This is one I expect to be close, but I'm expecting a bounce-back game from Aaron Rodgers. I hate to say it, I hate to see it, but I think it's going to happen. Going against a terrible Lions team, I'm going to give the edge to the Court in this one.
Can I just interject here, Danny Football?
Please do.
I got two things to say based on your commentary. First of all, I'd like to petition that the two divisions get their names updated for the 2021 season.
Fair.
I think that would add a little spice to this league. Also, just that trade that you mentioned, you brought it up. That was, it was an interesting trade. Undefeated Never Lost. We're really building for the future, and I think we were trying to. And Team Blinded by the Tight End. I think they're trying to win now, so we were more than happy to give them those important pieces for their team this season. So,
hey man, you can do whatever you want with Deshaun Watson. I want no part of him.
Oh, we will do whatever we want with him.
Next up, we have Undefeated Never Lost taking on Ham and Throw. Undefeated Never Lost favored in this one, 53% chance to win, basically 50-50 toss-up. And I think that's actually appropriate in this matchup because both these teams are terrible, and I hate to have to pick between them. Undefeated Never Lost Really questionable decision making, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I hear they may be looking at hiring a new defensive coordinator if things do not turn around for the team soon. My issues with Hammond throw, well documented, do not need to go into them anymore. In honor of this being a near 50-50 split, I think it is only appropriate to bring back the good old-fashioned coin flip. We're going to go heads for Hammond throw, tails for undefeated never lost. I'm going with Hammond throw.
Oh, okay. Great analysis there, Danny Football.
Thank you.
So as you know, I am one of the I don't know what you call it, the coaches, the coordinators of Undefeated Never Lost. So the slander there is not welcome. And also, I'd just like to point out, Danny Football, I don't know where you got your math degree, but it is a 53 to 47% matchup, not a 50-50 matchup. Okay?
Okay.
And so, as I mentioned earlier, Mike Visconti, another governor that is welcome to this Detroit Summit later this season. I'm not hoping that tensions won't run too high when he comes in, pretty sad about the loss he's going to suffer this week. But, I got to stick with my team. I'm going undefeated, never lost for this one.
All right. Next up, we've got the Texarkana Bandits taking on Bonk Go to Mahorny Jail. Bonk favored in this one, 60% chance to win. Who do you like here?
This name is really throwing me off. I'm sorry. For the name alone, I think I'm just going to go with Bonk Go to Mahorny Jail. Mahorny Jail, yeah. And I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Yeah, you can't go against the gut. The team formerly known as Too Many Tight Ends going through a midseason rebrand is always going to raise some red flags. But I do like their new name, and especially the logo, so I'm going to let it slide in this analysis. They pulled off that big upset in week 1, taking down To Infinity and Beyond, and I know that they're going to want to continue the momentum here. That being said, fans of the show, fans of the show know that I'm high on the Bandits. Nothing warmed my heart more than seeing them get off on the right foot last week. I still think this team has a glaring hole at running back, but I am all aboard the Bandits train, and I am not getting off anytime soon. Bandits all the way here. Finally, in our marquee matchup of the week, Twisted Teas taking on McKiss My Balls. Twisted Teas favored here at 91% chance. I expect that to be a little bit closer by game time when Nooch sets his lineup, hopefully. This one could potentially be very important in the division. These teams were on opposite sides of the playoff cut line last year, and they are both going to want to make a statement. Twisted Teas were looking pretty nice last week, putting up the highest score in the league. However, they did lose Raheem Mostert for the year, which is seriously going to hurt their depth. McKiss, on the other hand, had a pretty disappointing week despite getting the win. Major questions still surround off-season pickup Zeke and whether he is truly still an RB1 caliber back. I'm expecting a good matchup, and I'm going to give the edge here to the team who I think keeps the momentum going for another week, and that is the Twisted Teas.
Yeah, Danny Football, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. I think the Twisted Teas, right now they're undeniably the best team in the league. They beat the second best team in the league last week in Undefeated Never Lost. It was a close matchup. It was a tough loss for our team to sustain, but I think we were right on the edge of greatness there. Just a few plays here and there, and we would have had them. On the other hand, McKiss my balls. They clearly haven't set their lineup yet. You gotta question the commitment of the governor on that one. I mean, does he not know that we're filming a show? Come on, people.
Really inconsiderate.
So
very inconsiderate.
Yes. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to stick with the twisted teas.
All right, Danny. Thank you so much for being on the show this week. Really happy to have you on. Wishing you all the best of luck with your picks this week. Of course, not as good as me. Can't beat the expert. But again, thank you so much for being on the show.
All right, Danny Football, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you to Danny Football and guest Danny for those great picks. That is all we have for you this time. Be sure to come back next week to see how week 2 shook out. I'm your host, and this has been TNN. Hey, what's up, guys? Back again. Like I said last week, I got 3 people on my list right now. I will name and shame next week. So here's your last chance. So here we are. One person left, and it wasn't even Will this time. That was a nice surprise. Good on Will. He was the one holding out on me last year. But we got a new culprit this year. Goes by the name of Mike Vanek. It's tough. I'm a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. But I figure, maybe Mike Vanek doesn't know how to use Venmo. So we're gonna make it really easy for him. You just gotta first step, you take out your phone, and you're gonna find your Venmo app. You're gonna tap on that. We're gonna open it up. You're gonna see a nice blue button at the bottom. It says pay or request. You're gonna tap on that. And you're gonna type in my name, DANIEL dash capital V ENETUCCI. You're gonna see my name pop up. You're gonna tap on that. I can't pay myself, so we're gonna type in Mike Vanek's name just for demonstration purposes here. It's gonna tell you how much money to put in. You're gonna put in a big 30. It's gonna ask what's it for. Because they don't want you just sending money to people for no reason. You gotta tell them what it's for. So we're gonna go FANTASY football. And I really want this football emoji that shows up. So if you could press that one, that would be really nice. And then we're gonna go parentheses. Sorry for being late. Close parentheses. And then we're just going to hit pay. And there's going to be a nice green button that shows up on the bottom. It says pay to me. And you're just going to hit that. And then we'll be all done. And I won't have to remind anyone again. So Mike Vanek, I hope that my instructions are clear here. I really need the money. You're the last one holding out on me. So, yeah. If you want to just send it my way, that would be much appreciated. Good luck to everybody this year.
Is this all cut or is this staying in?
This is all gonna get cut here.
Okay.
Let's nobody
Can't believe TNN would fuck up like this.
I know. TNN messes up a lot.